it's Janine, and today is Vlogmas for December 18th and possibly 19th. Last night I didn't do any sewing, but I did some Christmas cooking. So I'm just going to quickly show you what I made. If you are only interested in sewing, you can skip today's, but I'm just going to do a very fast video and show you what I made up. I decided to try and get everything done all at once while the kitchen was clean and while I was alone in the house and I could just get to it. So I made three things last night. The first I made was Nanaimo Bars, which is a traditional Canadian treat. Nanaimo Bars are bars that have a base that's graham cracker, chocolate, coconut. Some people put walnuts in it, I don't. So it's got a solid base that's almost like a cookie. Then there is a filling that's icing sugar, a ton of butter, and bird's custard powder. The key ingredient is the bird's custard powder. And then it's topped with just a little bit of melted chocolate. Recently, I picked up a Canadian cookbook, and the person who wrote it used vanilla pudding instead of bird's custard powder in the icing, and I'm sorry, that's just heresy. Perhaps wherever they are, they couldn't find bird's custard powder, but we've lived all over the US, and I can always find it. Typically, maybe at Cost Plus World Market or at any grocery store that has an international section. So I made the Nanaimo Bars, and I will put the recipe down below, or a link to the recipe down below. And I'm going to show you all of these. And then the second thing I made is something my mom always made, which was Hopscotch Brownies. And I don't know why they're called Hopscotch Brownies, because they are not brownies at all. They are peanut butter and butterscotch chips melted together in a double boiler. Then you just stir in chow mein noodles and mini marshmallows and drop them by spoonfuls onto wax paper and put them in the fridge. Super fast. And if you have someone in your house who likes peanut butter, they will really like this recipe. But this can go from starting with nothing to done and edible and cooled in about 40 minutes. And then the third thing I made was nuts and bolts. And I didn't use my mom's recipe because some of the seasonings that she has in it are kind of hard to find now. In particular, hickory smoked salt. So the recipe I use is from the Best of Bridge cookbook series. Best of Bridge cookbooks were written by a group of Calgary women who played bridge, like probably in the 60s and early 70s. And they wound up spending more time worrying about the food than the bridge. So they put together excellent cookbooks. And in my part of the world, those are the gold standard, and everybody used them, especially in the 70s and early 80s. So I used their recipe for nuts and bolts and kind of had to change things around because I was actually trying to clear out the pantry. So I used whatever I had in the pantry, which meant I've got just a few toasted oats, a zillion shredded wheat, then I have pretzels, and I always put Cheezits in mine, and nuts. So all told, I used 1.5 pounds of butter last night. I'm going to take a bunch of this stuff to work today and share it. Otherwise, I will eat all of it, especially the nuts and bolts. I've really got a thing about salty food. So here quickly, these are my nuts and bolts. Of course, there's more than this. They're sealed up and hidden away. And then here we have these. This is a Nanaimo bar. My top is maybe not as thick as it could be, but you've got the cookie layer, then the icing layer, and then a little bit of chocolate on top. And this is a hopscotch brownie. Oh, doesn't look much like a brownie, does it? So I've got a tray full of this that I'm taking to work today, if you can see that. I don't have a very good camera set up for kitchen work. So this is all going to work, and then the bird's custard powder changes the flavor of the icing, and I should not have done that at 7:50 a.m. because now I want to eat one of these. So I'll be back either later today or tomorrow, and I do actually have a sewing project I must get done tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a great Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow.